Welcome to Chasing the Beats, the show dedicated to weeklybeats.com artists, their songs and stories from the 2024 season and beyond. I'm your host, SQF, and our guest today is gesceap. All right, welcome to gesceap, which is an interesting way to pronounce this collection of letters. And thanks for being on, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me. This is really interesting.
Yeah, like our last guest, I'm unfamiliar with your music because didn't have a lot of activity in 2024.
Yeah, I don't know why. I think this time around I didn't feel like doing it, but I'm feeling the bug, and I think I'll do it
Nice.
this next year.
Nice. Yeah, what did you end up making any music in 2024?
Oh yeah, it's always a
Okay, cool.
constant thing. Even like every day or so, I make something or work on something.
Oh, that's awesome. You
Yeah.
just didn't feel like finishing songs?
There's just a lot of stuff going on in my life this year, lots of
Yeah,
changes, so I decided, okay, I'll just take a pause. I mean, well, I should say last year,
yeah.
it was a lot of things changing all at once, and I took a backseat on a few other things too. So I thought, okay, I'm just gonna make my life easier and
Cool.
take it from there.
But you made music, which is the important part.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think that is very important for me to have a constant flow of creativity and try things. I don't even care if they're new things, just try things, you know.
Yeah. What kind of things do you reach for to try?
I think, I kind of spoke to you about this before, but I'll just kind of jump in is I basically I only use Nano Loop on tablets. I have an old iPad, like an iPad 2. And I only use that app to make music, and I've been doing that for years. I used to be really big into hardware and DAWs and recording stuff, and it's just got so complicated. And I've moved around a lot. I've lived in
Yeah.
lots of different countries, so you can't take a bunch of equipment with you when you're moving around. So it just became something about having something portable, immediate, that I can use and just try an idea. And I just try to take it to the limits, right?
Yeah.
So the app has no effects at all.
Wow. Pretty
There's no
bare bones.
effects. Yeah, it's really bare bones. There's no effects at all. You can't like put reverb or echo and stuff like that. You have 8 channels. You have like a FM synth and a really kind of basic additive synth. It's like square wave only. And you have a sampler and a noise generator, and that's it. So I just thought, okay, for years I've just been focusing on just using that because of those limitations. And I like that. I think limitations help with creativity.
Yeah. I mean, I was chatting with that Ranjit actually the other day, and we were talking about how the M8 has plenty of tracks. Like 8 tracks is enough. So I definitely agree with you on Nano Loop. Do you tend to go more towards samples because there's not a lot of sound design on there?
Yeah, actually, I kind of have a pretty specific workflow where most of the kind of drum sounds are probably samples.
Yeah.
Then almost everything else is not. Sometimes I'll throw in like a sample for a little lead or to like layer it, but I use the built-in
All right.
synths a lot. I mean for most of the basses, for most of the synths and pads and leads,
All
just
right.
use that.
That's cool. And uh, we're a bit away from hearing music, but I think your music is perfect for this weekend, being Halloween.
It has a little bit of a spooky vibe.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
groovy but spooky at the same time.
yeah.
Because I noticed you like to do lots of like slight detunes.
Yeah, that's the thing is that because there's certain types of limitations, you can only do certain types of operations together. And one of them you can control usually together with something else is usually a, a detune. Or it's also just actually sometimes you can't. It depends on the way you use the synths. But I also just like that. I don't like
I
things that
like it
sound
too. I
so
like it too.
straight. It doesn't feel organic. I want it
Yeah,
to feel a little bit more natural
and spooky.
and spooky. I think the spookiness also comes to the fact that you don't have a lot of polyphony and you only
uh,
have a 3 note polyphony max.
yeah,
So a lot of the times I've like drawn out pads and drawn out notes and so they sound a little bit, I don't know, a lot of space. They take up a lot of space. And also I like that kind of spooky, I don't know, minors, not so much of a, I don't like making something so major and happy.
yeah, yeah. Too cheery.
Yeah, not into that.
And it sounds like you've been making music for quite a while now.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. I don't know, over 20 years. So
Nice,
I was looking at some pictures of when I started just the other day, and it's been over 20 years for sure. But
nice.
everywhere, I've gone all over the place. Played a lot of different instruments when I was younger, in
And
school and out of school.
what was your first weekly beats year?
Oh, I think that was 2022.
Okay,
Oh, sorry, 2020. I'm sorry, it was
2020. So
2020.
you did two
I
years.
did 2020 and 2022. Yeah.
Nice. And how has your music creating process? I know you're in the Nanoloop world and have been for a little while now. Since that is limiting, how has your process evolved over the years?
Yeah, I think like that obviously those limiting factors change the way you think about composing and making music. But obviously you still have to think about different things. So a lot of the times I think about how to make different types of sections of songs, how to potentially give some dynamic change because of some of the limitations. You have to use the app in a certain way. And how can you kind of use that to give dynamic changes because otherwise the song just feels real flat. Also, just how can you make something just have a, like you said, kind of good groove and good feel and
Yeah.
not have to make it too complicated, right? And that's kind of another big thing is okay, you don't make it complicated, just make it sound good.
Yeah.
So I think that's the other big thing. The other thing is I'm probably very impatient now. Because like with DAWs and if you have like a recording studio and mic, you spend a lot of time like setting things up and like, okay, it's this optimal
Right.
environment. Whereas now I'm like, I have, I don't care. I have other stuff I need to do. I have
Yeah.
20 minutes right now. I'd pull out an iPad and plug headphones in. And then after that point, I'm like, I'm done with this.
Yeah.
So
Little bite-sized chunks of music making.
yeah, that's good. I like that. I think that's the way
Yeah.
it operates best for me.
And I find I that's kinda how I make music too. I like to, fill in some time here and there throughout the day and the evening. I'm not I don't sit down and do, like, a marathon music session.
Yeah, I used to do that. I used to do that where I just like stay up all night and make music. But no, I don't
You
do
gotta
that
let stuff,
anymore.
like, simmer for a little bit, you know?
Yeah, there's something nice about that. I'm sure this has happened to you. I'd love to hear your experience as well. Which is like you brought this up earlier, which is you make a song, and at the time you think, oh, that was okay,
Yeah.
but then you come back to it and you're like, wow, that was a really great idea, and you
Yeah.
just run with it. At that point, for whatever reason, it's inspirational, and you just take it from there.
Yeah, I mean, the opposite happens too, where, like, I'll make something right before I go to bed, and I'm like, "Oh, it's a fucking banger. I can't wait to listen to that in the morning." And then I listen to in the morning, and I'm like, "What was I doing?" Like, this like, I was hearing things much differently. So, it's gotta have that, you know you got to let it sit and then come back to it and still like what's happening.
Yeah, that's true. It has to have the have, yeah, I guess not fail the test of time.
Yeah. And I'm also always curious what people do to kind of keep moving the goalposts, if you will, and experimenting and not just like making the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I think a lot of those things have to do with, for me, they definitely have to do with those types of limitations because then you have to think about a creative thing. Oh, how can I do this? Or also maybe the actual composition itself. Is there a new way to think about composition? I think those are two areas I kind of think about often, but I also ignore them often, even though I probably shouldn't.
And are you talking like sticking to standard song structures?
Yeah, but yeah, basically. Yeah, I think a lot of the other things too, just like how to, yeah, basic song structure itself too. I definitely kind of stick with that. I don't care about that too much anymore, even if it's just like the
Yeah.
same old thing. But the main thing is like melodic differences, like thinking about how to think about, oh, okay, are these relative majors and minors? What's a good change from here to there? And I mean, I'm okay with that, but I don't think about that much, and I could, but that's a whole new world, and that is it doesn't matter what you use, right? Like that's just
Yeah.
another mode of thinking. So I should that's something I probably should try more.
Yeah, I have a hard time mixing art and strategy.
Oh, you mean like
Like
strategy for like showing your music
or
to
like you were just talking about, okay, here's the scale that I'm in. If I change to these chords, like I kind of just like try things and see
yeah,
what
I'm like
sounds
that
good.
definitely. Yeah, I definitely do that. I'm
Like
definitely in that.
the music theory part of my brain does not activate when I'm making music, you know?
Yeah. The really difficult bit with Nano Loop is like there's no keyboard or interface to just kind of play a couple notes.
Yeah.
So I would have to have that readily available somewhere else. And I've tried that, like have an app open on a phone and then like play some
Mhm.
chords, like because I can kind of noodle around on piano. But I found that actually almost harder, unless it's there's something I really come up with a really good idea and I go, okay, I want to transfer that melody here.
Yeah.
But that rarely happens too. That rarely
Because
happens.
is Nano Loops sort of like a tracker flow?
It's basically like a no. It's like a it's not at all like a tracker. It would be cool if it was like a tracker. You'd have more you'd have you'd have more control. It's basically just a 16-step sequencer
Okay.
and it's just laid out in a square. So instead of you taking all the 16 steps and like most of them show them in a line, that classic, 808
Mhm. Yeah.
sequencer, you just kind of say, okay, well, what if I take each one of those four, each like beat, and just put them
Make it a
one on top
grid.
of each other, and that's it.
Okay.
That's your interface. So like,
So can you do any like micro timing?
let me show you. You mean like micro timing, as in like lower than
Like
16?
if you place a note on a step to be able to like nudge it off time a little bit?
Yeah, let me show you just like a little thing if I can open this up. So you could see it's like a square.
Mhm.
So it's just like I said, it's like a 4 by 4 thing. You can say like you have a shuffle, so you can say every other step move it a certain percentage,
Okay.
but that's it. You
Like
don't actually
swing.
have you don't have control on a per step level. You have like just a global, well, like a local pattern level thing. You
Wow.
can change that. Yeah. So I've done that. I mix songs with swing, but then you just have to every pattern you have to change it to the same swing.
Mhm. So a
Sometimes I
lot
do
of
that.
your drum grooves are sampled loops of drums.
No,
No, okay.
no. So they
You're doing one
will
shots.
No. So it's like an MPC or it's like a tracker in the way that you have to think about it. So you have like a sample. I mean, I do it like this. You have a sample, and that sample has a bunch of is it can be a drum loop or it can be a bunch of hits.
Mhm.
And then you basically have to like move the starting point offset to where you want it to hit.
Got it.
And then so like it'll be like kick, hi-hat, snare, so you have to kind of move it around to where you want it to be.
Got it.
And you can
That's
do
where
that.
you can add some, like, weird timing.
Yeah, so if you used a wave, you could do some weird stuff like that where you kind of maybe go a little bit before and kind
Mhm.
of pushes it ahead, but you have shuffle, so you don't have to do that. I have done that sometimes just to get interesting little
Yeah.
sounds, but I don't do that as a methodology to create the rhythm. Like, usually I don't do that. Sometimes I've done that, but not very much.
Other than dancing, how do you know when the groove is grooving?
Yeah, that's a good point. Either I think either it gets to the point where I think there's two aspects to that. One is like whether you really enjoy it, and the other one is whether you're really sick of it, right? So if you just kind of you're really enjoying that and it's becoming inspirational and you just continue to listen to it, then you know it's going well. But if you listen to it and you're just sick of it, then it's like it's no.
Yeah.
So I think inspiration is the key, right? Like, is it inspirational? Is it making you? Is it keeping your interest?
Yeah. I would agree with that.
Yeah, that works for me.
And, since you are on a looping machine, it is easy to get trapped in a loop. What is your process like to, like, experiment and come up with different ideas?
Yeah, so the way there's kind of like two ways to use this app. The way you can use it is you can say like use it in a looping mode where you just kind of experiment and you put things on top of each other and just they all you can choose different channels and different patterns and just see how they sound. Or you can just put it straight in a sequence mode and just kind of loop some sequences. I have a tendency to do that more because I have a tendency to find that if I just kind of am doing loops, I'm not sure where I want it to go or how it's supposed to build or what it's supposed to do. So I
Mhm.
have a tendency to just kind of put it directly in the sequencer and just kind of mess with it there while it's playing over and over so that I can have some variation, think about the variation and try things. And then sometimes I get inspiration about that. Oh, this variation can happen here, and I'll just change that in the sequence. I have a tendency to do that more. Whereas I think probably 90% of the people who use this app don't do that. Most of the people don't think about it as like a longer song sequence. They
Yeah.
think about like let's just like a lot of people that use it do techno, right? So they're really into like the kind of like specific sounds, more repetitive and like grooving and experimenting with that live.
Right.
But I don't do that. I
Just,
don't
like,
do that.
sort of like these ever running loops that you're, like, turning on and off.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Especially, I think the app was made for that. I mean, it really
Yeah.
was. And even the way that some features are, it's made to kind of loop through things automatically with you not ever having to touch a song type mode.
Yeah.
But I have a tendency to do that more. I basically don't use it what it was designed for, I think. But maybe that's why I enjoy it. It just kind of just try to do some interesting things with it.
Yeah, I mean, I really like the approachability of it because since I've gotten back into music and did weekly beats, I've been reaching out to friends that I had made music with in the past, and they were kind of like me. They had sort of like fallen out of music making, and I really want them to make music again and
Yeah.
have the same fun that I'm having, but I also don't want to be like, yeah, you should invest in modular,
Oh
you
my
know?
god, just like buy a second car, their modular setup. I think that would be really cool, but that's like the perfect that would be so fun to me. But it's a weird thing for me because I feel like that sounds like the perfect place where I would go and never come out of. And for that, almost for that exact reason, because it sounds so interesting and fun, it sounds like hell,
Yeah,
because I you'll get so involved in it, and I don't,
and not
as like
actually
you
make
said,
anything.
yeah, maybe that's the reason why. Maybe that's the reason
Yeah,
why, but it's also that immediacy, right? Like with a modular setup, you really have to, you don't have that, certain things you have immediacy over, right? But maybe like composing something is, there's no real immediacy there, right? Like it takes a long
yeah,
time and you really have to plan.
yeah, and your process, you are sort of thinking about the song from the get-go, or, like, the arrangement from the start?
Yeah, so usually it does come out from an idea. So I played bass for years.
Alright.
So for me, it's like the drums and the bass are
Yeah,
a big thing, and then the melody. Either I'll usually start in the one of those two areas where it's like the drums and the bass, kind of focusing on that. So there's a good groove, or that there's like a
yes.
specific melody idea that I'm like, I want to experiment with that idea, and then try that, and then I try to maybe build something around that. But I do have a tendency to probably just jump into some drum or bass sound.
Yeah. Like, some people I've talked to, they're like, "I have a vision for this song that, like, I'm gonna like, here's the kind of song I'm going to make."
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite. I'm like, "I don't know what's gonna happen." I'm just like, "Ooh, I like
Yeah.
that melody," or, "Oh, I like this drum loop is cool."
I think that there's so many doors that you can open,
Mhm.
and you can open that door of like a rhythm or the bass or a melody or this interesting sound, and that can be your inspiration, and that happens. Either one, I can open any of those and just try it. I think a lot of people are like that. I mean, maybe that's how it is for you too. I don't know.
Yeah, it definitely is. It's like, I guess to go back to your, comment a little while ago is, like, I'm just, like, following little breadcrumbs of inspiration.
Yeah, they are. They're like passing in time. You just see them and you're like, okay, oh, that's an interesting one. I'll go that way.
Yeah, and I'll, you know, make kind of a collection of things that go well together and try, muting different tracks. And then if I'm like, okay, I like these combinations of tracks,
Uh,
then I will sort of like mute some of the ones that I like and make some different ones on top of that.
yeah, so that's what you just said is what I definitely don't do.
Oh, interesting.
So like I definitely, once I have something created, like thing, like it's a drum loop or a bass
Drum
pattern or
loop
something,
with like a melody.
or a melody thing. No, it's I won't ever do that.
Oh,
What you just
okay.
said, I won't ever do that. So this is interesting. I'm glad we're talking about this. I
Yeah.
will never make a drum loop and and a melody together. It will be one of those things on its own.
No way.
And then I almost like try to fit this ideas that I have with one of those things that's already been created. So like if I start with the drums, I go, okay, this is an interesting groove. Oh, and then try to fit something into that. And then fit another thing on that. And then eventually, okay, now I have like some portion of the song is done, right? So it could start in any one of these areas, but I won't ever do them together. It's like it's definitely one, and then the next thing goes on top. And it's almost like, that's like cooking, right? You put
Yeah.
the ingredients and you put them all together, and then eventually it's like you have it ready to cook. And then
So are you saying that you'll do like a drum loop separate from a melody and then try to like mash them up together later?
no, I'm saying I'll make a drum loop and there won't be a melody.
Right. Yeah.
And then like think about, is there a melody that would work with this? Or
Got it.
is there something that I already want to do that could work with that? And then try it, and then put that layer into until it kind of sounds good. And
Yeah.
then
And I think my process is not so far off from yours. I
okay.
probably explained it poorly. Uh, I, like, I'll start with like a drum loop. and then I'll start just experimenting with like a melody over the top of it. And then maybe I'll add a bass line to go with it, but then I'll mute the melody and like try like a different instrument or a different sound on top of the bass line.
Yeah.
And then maybe I'll drop the bass line and try something else. And then I end up with like all these different combinations of tracks that like some of them kind of go together still.
Yeah. Something about that where so I have tried doing this where I say like, "Okay, I'm going to intentionally leave like the drum part out and make this other section which is like a melody and a bass and then just add this loop, quote unquote, that already
Yeah.
exists on top of it." And almost like 99% of the time, I get angry at myself at the end. I was like, "That sounds horrible. Why did I do that?" And then I just stop. So I did that even I was listening to a track on the way home, and I was listening to that, and I was thinking there was an end section that I did that, exactly what we just talked about. I made the melody and the bass line, and then I just kinda left the drums that already existed. And I just was thinking at the end, like, that I said to myself out loud, "That was interesting." Like like, basically saying to myself, like, "Why did you do that?"
Yeah.
Because they don't work together. It's a different
Yeah.
feeling. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just trying to come up with all of these different combinations of things that kind of work together,
Yeah.
and then I'm like, okay, tracks 1, 4, and 5 are like one section, and then this other combination of tracks is like the B section, and then
That's
I
interesting.
start to be able to like take all these ideas and match them up into a song.
I kind of it's cool that you're talking about this. It's a way that I don't think about making music, but I think it's a good way to try something new. This is why I like the kind of weekly beats in this kind of community is somebody will say something and go, "Oh, I just never thought about doing that."
Yeah,
Um,
like you said, there's so many doors to go into and experiment and try things. And, I'm always looking for how other people are doing things so that I can, change something about how I'm making music to like not make the same stuff all over again.
yeah. Yeah, think that's what's nice about it. It's funny, we were talking earlier about maybe on weekly beats where you maybe a week goes by and you want to listen to a lot of the music, but there's just so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there's even a couple weeks where I'm like, this week I'm literally going to listen to every song, and I've done that, and it's so time consuming. It's really
Oh,
hard.
God. Yeah.
And like this week, I'm going to listen to every single song, and I'm going to write a comment on every song. And I've maybe done that
Oof.
twice
Yeah.
because it just is so time consuming, and it's tough because you can't really do that. But sometimes you just find something really interesting, like, "Oh, wow, I did not expect that."
And I mean, I'm still finding interesting things
Yeah,
running this podcast because and this was the reason why I wanted to do this is because there is so much music.
yeah,
And just like your stuff, it's from a year that I didn't participate in. So your music was like unknown to me until this week.
yeah,
And there's just so much goodness out there.
yeah, it's
And
cool.
shout out to the community that makes it so welcoming.
Yeah, I think that's the other thing too. It's nice. We're all kind of in this together, just we've all gone through that struggle like you're talking about of trying to make music every week and going through all the things you're talking about, the ups and downs, being annoyed at yourself maybe or not feeling it's up to par
Yeah.
or whatever it is. And then, just coming through. It's
What
cool.
what have you taken away from your 2 years of weekly beats that maybe not necessarily directly related to music, but like I've mentioned before, I feel like my 1 year of weekly beats experience has translated to other areas in my life.
Oh, I think I think it hasn't transferred to other areas of my life, which I wish it has. Just
Interesting.
being completely honest. But I think for music making, I definitely try to be more. patient. It's funny because I do think patience is a really important virtue, and I try that to be patient, but I'm not very patient sometimes.
I'm not very patient.
Yeah, but I think for the music stuff also, I think it's not patient isn't the right word. It's like forgiving. Like, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
this is not that good, or I know there's problems. That's okay. It's good enough. It's good enough for an attempt for this idea and to just get it out. And I think that kind of being more forgiving of it doesn't have to be perfect. Like perfection is
Right,
an
yeah.
unattainable goal because it's like a ever moving goalpost. And I think that's probably the biggest thing.
Yeah, I always like to remember that we're only making music. Like,
Yeah,
we're
yeah, yeah,
just
right. Like,
we're making sounds that we listen to, and was talking to someone recently, and I was like, it's kind of like the only area that as adults we can just do crazy stuff. Even though making like a lot of times making music, we're like, oh, I can't make anything crazy because it's got to be good. But it's like the only area in life where we can experiment, do something completely insane, and all it is sounds at the end of the day. Like no one, like nothing bad can happen.
yeah, yeah. Like the worst thing you can happen is you listen and you go, I don't really like that, and that's not a very bad like output, right? Like,
Right, of all the things in adult life to avoid, like not liking a song that you made is probably like the the least to worry about.
yeah, there's something about that childlike curiosity we think we've lost, and that comes back in the creation of music and sounds because there's no limitations. You
Yeah.
just allow yourself to be free.
Well, there are limitations, but they're all in our heads.
Yeah, I mean, they're like self-imposed, I guess.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yeah.
self-imposed.
Yeah, and so I it's like my reminder to be like, okay, I'm like when I'm making music, like I'm on the playground, but I can never get hurt.
That's a cool metaphor. Like out in this
And
playground of sound,
yeah,
right?
and if it's bad, then we'll make something better tomorrow, you
Yeah,
know?
you're never gonna break your arm. You just
No.
you just make something and you enjoy it. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you hope other people break their arms when they listen to it because it's just so good, but,
Is breaking the arm like the metaphor for enjoying it? I don't know where we're going with it.
mosh pit or I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, it could be, right? Like, get
Yeah.
that energy out. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
there you go, why not?
yeah.
Yeah, I think this is the thing too, is right, like, you enjoying it is that maybe that childlike reflection, and then being able to share that with someone, they enjoy it as well, is like being able to play in the playground with them, right? Like, you all
Yeah,
enjoy it together, and that's great. If you can, I think that's like the any art I don't know, anybody who does some kind of artistic or creative endeavor, it's like a sense of it's some weird sense of social community that
mhm.
you're longing for to enjoy the creativeness and creative inspiration that you can have and share
Yeah,
it
like,
with other
you wanna
individuals.
make it for your own enjoyment, at least I do, but it's also nice when other people look at the things that you make.
Right. You're like, oh, you have this longing for that, even if you don't say it. Like, oh, you
Yeah,
enjoy that too? That's
look
great.
what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely like that. Like, look at the picture I drew.
Yeah, and I think
Um,
that's what's so powerful about this community is that we are all willing to output music, but also intake music listening to what everyone else is doing.
yeah, I think so too. I think you're probably right. I like that. I think that's part of the fun is finding a little gem and going, oh wow, that was cool.
And then I can, like, talk to that person,
Yeah, just
like,
directly. It's not like some random artist who you're like, oh, they're
like,
amazing. I'll
"Oh,
never
I
be
gotta
able to
join
speak
the
to them.
fan club," and then,
Yeah,
you know
I've done things like that. We're like, oh, this person's interesting. I wonder if there's some way I could speak to them. No,
No, no.
I'm not
Yeah.
going to, and I'm done with that.
But there's tons of Weekly Beats people making amazing stuff, and you can, share files with people
Yeah.
and yeah, so amazing community. There's a bingo card somewhere where people are checking off that I say this every time.
Like community.
Community.
So synergy, like just random words. As a funny like side note, at jobs now, everything's like AI
Oh yeah, yeah.
transcriptions, right? And so I had this whole joke of like, oh, let's see what keywords you have to say for it to come in the transcription at the end. Well, not the transcription, but like a synopsis, right?
Yeah.
And so a friend of mine and I were like just trying to say things, and then I kept saying like synergy, and
Like
we're like talking about stupid stuff like the synergy of dog toys, like, and then it would come up. Like, so it's like you have to talk about it enough. You have to talk about certain types of things. Yeah, it's like bingo, you know.
yeah.
I'm sure there are some people who are like this with music, but I don't think Weekly Beats people are like that. They're
No,
just kind of
no.
like we're all just trying this stuff out.
Yeah, and you listen to someone's track and you can reach out to them and be like, "How did you make that? I
Yeah,
wanna I
how did you
wanna
get that sound? Or
I wanna
yeah,
try that on my playground."
yeah,
So, and then everyone is making music on different devices unless it's one of my inmate homies. Shout out.
shout out to Inmate Crew.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah,
And again, super cool that you make all this on the Nano Loop.
yeah. The other funny thing is like, just as a backstory, I made like chiptune for a decade,
All right, all right.
but I think that was the segue. Was like, oh, there's Nano Loop. I'll try that. Oh, they have it on an iPad, and somebody gave me an iPad they didn't want, and I was commuting to work on a train, and I was like, I got 2 hours to kill every day. I'm just going to use this thing,
Yeah.
and and then a lot of people at that time were using like LSDJ, and another friend of mine was really into it. Also, Goat Tracker, other trackers, Sid Music, and I was just like, those people are so good at that. I want to just be good at something else.
Yeah, I can't compete.
Like I'm not gonna ever be good at that. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I could try, but I mean, maybe I will be, but I don't. I'll just be good at something else.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then I think that was the other motivation was like they're all so good at that. I'll let them be good at that, and I'll just try this thing for a while. And then when Mate started coming out and everybody kind of shifting, all the LSDJ folks are shifting there. I was like kind of the same feeling. Like that thing is so powerful and amazing. And
Yeah.
I knew Tim for years from that community. I was like, I'm still just let them have that. Let them have that. I'm not
I
gonna
was too
I'm
naive.
not
I just
gonna
jumped
do
right
that.
in.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, something about that. It's really cool. It's amazing.
Oh, it's great. I mean, it's just insane what Tim has been able to squeak out of that tiny little processor.
If you've if you get if you get to know him, it's not insane. He's he's like that. He'll he's just done stuff for years. My whole setup, I used one of the things on my setup used Arduino Boy, which used MGB. So like he made software to run on a
Ah,
Game
all
Boy
right.
that take MIDI in. So I used to do a lot of stuff where I'd use a bunch of devices together. Like I had a MIDI NES and MGB and a MIDI box SID. So I had a Commodore 64, NES, and a Game Boy all together.
Wow.
And it was kind of like the weird thing. But he wrote all that stuff. And so as soon as he started saying like, "Oh, I'm interested in making this handheld," I was like, "Yeah, he's
Yeah.
gonna do that." He's
Yeah. And I mean, just the most amazing software support of like any product that you could ever
Yeah,
own.
it's a real community there for sure.
Yeah. Like no one else does updates like that.
No, but that's how he is.
Anywho, that's I guess enough M8 swooning and Tim swooning. Should we start listening to some music?
Yeah,
All right. Let's start with 2022 week 51 Snewer.
Snewer. Yeah,
Snewer.
it's new. It's Snewer.
Snewer.
It's
All right.
Snewer.
Here we go. That was Snewer. Tell us about that one.
Yeah, so I think one of the things about that was just a lot of buildup of kind of keeping a groove going and adding little things and not trying to make it too complicated, but I really like that one. That was actually supposed to be released on Mind Color Music, but something happened with the compilation there. It seemed like it fell through. But yeah, for that one, like I was saying, I was using Android. So in Weekly Beats 2022, about halfway through the year, switched from using an older iPad to a little bit of a newer Android tablet. Not that much newer, but the Android version has a little bit differences. And one of the big things with you have this thing called Metastep, where it basically lets you kind of so one of the steps on a sequence can be skipped every other pattern. And that basically means sometimes if you do it right, you can get almost like twice as many patterns. And it was a good way to kind of get little variations in a groove.
Kind of like a polyrhythm.
Yeah, it's not really like a polyrhythm. It's like just think about if you had a step that you could say, okay, well, every second time this is played, don't play this note.
Oh, okay.
And that's basically what it is. So like every even number in a sequence would play the note, every odd number in the sequence would not play the
Got it. It
note.
doesn't change the length of the sequence.
No, the sequence is always the same. It just kind of skips a note, basically. It just will say skip a note. And in a way, you could use it to make your drum patterns or other patterns a little bit more,
Yeah.
like a little bit more variation.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great groove, and the drums on this, you said, are a breakbeat?
Yeah, so part of it, well, actually, no, all the drums were just sequenced, but like that basic rhythm you hear in the background, I think it's just like it's an 808 kit with some hits, right? So you just sequence the drums there. It's not actually a loop. It just
Got
made
it.
the sequence in the app. But then the background, there's a part where you kind of hear the shaker come in, and that's that like yeah, Lynn Collins like think break one of them, and just kind of jumping around to different parts in the break to kind of get a
Yeah.
shaker in the background to give it like another layer. It gives it like a nice groove. That melody just basically goes through the whole song.
Well, then
But
you
I
switch to that, like, it's even more detuned, like, faster melody.
Yeah,
It's really
that's true.
cool.
There's like a kind of a B section. There is another thing that's interesting that you can do on the app is you can make patterns. You can change the length of patterns by
Mm.
a step, any step. So you can have a pattern of one step all the way up to
Okay.
16. So in the beginning of the song, I play with that. So and every other, I have two layers of a pad playing, and then the second layer has a shorter sequence. So when they roll on top of each other after playing for a while, it almost sounds like I'm changing it, but it's not.
Yeah.
It's just that it's repeating on itself in a strange way. So like the 16 step will start back on the
Yeah,
one,
that's
and then
cool.
and it gives it a nice like variation. It feels more natural or something.
Yeah. I mean, killer song. That was, the next to the last song from 2022.
Yeah,
Uh, let's go to week 39, 2022, FTS.
yeah.
I love this one. Alright, here we go. Alright, that was FTS, and I would just was looking at the comments, and shout out to Ipaghost and the most amazing ghost gif that like, Halloween ghost gif that goes perfect with the song,
Yeah.
and, this is a favorite of mine. I think there's a lot of just really cool elements in this, like, we were talking during the break of like this middle section that comes back in with this like creepy sounding detuned synth that turns out to be your voice.
Yeah, there's this kind of yeah, it plays a similar kind of melody as before, but it's a voice of it's just me singing. I basically took the same app and I just recorded my voice singing a middle C multiple times in different octaves, and I exported that whole thing so I had like a note, kind of interesting sounding note that I could throw in songs sometimes. And I threw it in there and let it play similar melody and just did some changes to it, and it really it gives it a real interesting element when it comes in.
Yeah,
It's unexpected, but I think it works really well.
it hits great. Yeah. What other tidbits from this song?
Yeah, I think yeah, I don't know what was going on in my head, but it was definitely kind of a like just maybe annoyed FTS kind of week probably. And then I was like, yeah, I'm just kind of sick of stuff, and then I just made that. But there's definitely that idea where it's a little bit, yeah, creepy, kind of weird sounding. I like that feeling. I don't know why. That uneasiness feeling. I feel like if a
Yeah,
song is too happy, I don't like listening to it or something. And and then at the end it just kind of breaks down on itself, which I feel like is the perfect idea for that is like, all right, I'm done.
yeah, yeah. It's great. All right, we're gonna keep it going with 2022 week 40, Dementia New.
Mm.
All right, here we go.
Everything is old. Everything is new. Everything is old. Everything is new. Everything is new. Everything is old.
All right, that was Dementia New. As NF said in the comments, uh, great song, disturbing premise, and it is.
Yeah, I think I don't know why I was thinking about that concept of losing oneself and not being able to remember things, and then it made me think about dementia and how you start losing this knowledge of yourself and what's happening to you and what you knew and what you didn't know. And yeah, like I was saying, the song actually was kind of called Dementia New as an NEW, and then it became a kind of ongoing thought of something new that's happening to you that you believe is new, but is something that has happened to you so many times. It's something that you did know that you knew in the past. So some kind of homophone.
Yeah, KNEW versus NEW.
NEW, yeah. KNEW versus NEW. So, but yeah, the other thing with uh,
Oh,
that
I was
voice.
asking if that's your voice.
No, it's not. I have done that in a few songs. There's another song I released called Fools, and my voice is there. But I've done this tactic a few times where you record your voice or you take a sample of just some sound, somebody saying something. And then instead of what you do is you just kind of to fit it to the song, you say the words in the right location where you want them to be. But if you want them to be pronounced longer, I do a weird thing where I'll let it play and then on the next step loop a part of the vowel so it
Mm,
plays longer and then kind of finish the word off. So kind of using the limitations in the app to say loop a section, and that's why it kind of sounds a little bit robotic because I'm doing that in the song, like looping sections to make it fit to the rhythm because the sample doesn't fit the rhythm at all. It's like
yeah.
it's much faster.
Yeah, we actually forgot to talk about one other trick from the last song, which was I made a comment about, "Oh, I love the delay on the drums." And you pointed out that again, there's no effects in Nano Loop. So you're just hitting that same drum hit twice, but a lower volume the second time.
Yeah,
And
maybe I'll change it.
to do reverb, you are hitting a note multiple times and just decreasing the
Yeah,
volume.
I mean, if it's a reverb sound, like you want to get a fat reverb sound, sometimes I'll do a layer where I'll actually hit a sound and then put a really low noise generation and a
Oh,
really
okay.
low volumes below it. So it almost sounds like it's playing out like a pa. Or pitch something down and play it longer and put that in the background and then it fills it out. It sounds almost like a reverb,
Nice.
but it's not. So lots of
You
tricks like that.
you are really having to do some trickery to get around the limitations.
Yeah, I like that though. It's something fun about that.
Yeah, and I mean, like you were saying when you were pointing these tricks out to me, like that's pretty much what all these effects are doing behind the scenes. It's just
Yeah.
we have a button to do it.
Yeah, yeah, and I just think about that. I think that's the big thing is like, oh, if I have an idea, oh, I really would love this to be delayed. Oh, I can just delay that. I can play multiple times and turn it down, or oh, I would love to have a chorus. Oh, if I just play two channels, I play the same thing, but I detune one of them. It's kind of like a chorus,
Yeah.
and or flanger. Oh, okay. Well, I play two of the same loops and I detune that a little bit and play it for a long period of time. You have a flanger. Like, oh, okay, just things like that.
Very cool.
Yeah.
It's like almost like, early recording studio tricks.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, you do have to think of it like that. Oh, I have this wave playing. What can I do with it? Or I have this sound playing. What parameters can I change? And can I layer it? A big thing for me is layering. I layer a lot of stuff. Layer basses, layer synths, layer drums. And if you
You
don't do
only
that,
have
it
8
feels flat.
tracks.
Yeah. I usually have a very specific way I set up my files too, is like the first three tracks are almost always drums. The next
All
two are
right.
almost always bass. And then the last two are always like a pad and a maybe like a a lead or something. And then you have one where I'll kind of switch between sounds, maybe like another pad or another bass, depending on how many layers I want or something like that. Or,
Yeah. So it's sparse, but you still manage to make it sound big.
yeah, yeah,
Is
just
that just
use
from
a
the
bunch.
layering?
Yeah, it's all layering. It's all a big thing about layering and just using as much of the layering really, using as much space as you have there and just trying to fill that space out. The big thing too is like thinking about frequency spaces too for me. I don't
Mm-hmm.
talk about that much at all. Is I really don't I you can't EQ, right? So
I was just about to ask.
yeah, you can't EQ. So you have to think about frequency spaces a lot and think, okay, this drums, what kind of spaces are they in? And really just listen. You're not
Yeah.
just listen, okay, where is this at? What space can I? And if it's a sample, for example, and you say, oh, I want this sample to be more of a lower frequency. Okay, well, just turn the note down.
Yeah. Yeah.
And now it's a lower frequency. Oh, and this thing is, I don't want it to bleed together. Oh, okay, well, turn the sample, play it higher. Like it's going to be at a higher frequency now
Yeah.
because it can't be in that spectrum. And then the same thing with basses and synths. Where are they? Where do they exist? Change filters, change
Mm-hmm.
octaves to kind of fill in some spaces. So that way, when the song is it's something I do just naturally now. I think about that while I'm doing it, and when I'm making a sound, I say, okay, well, I can't have that sound here because you can't distinguish it from this bass.
Right.
So I'm going to change the octave, or I'll change the frequency filter, just change a little bit, or change whatever I can, so that it's distinguishable. And I kind of just do that naturally now.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I got into more sound design stuff on the M8 is because I was adding all these layers and then I was like, I added something and now I can't really hear this other part that I
Yeah,
want to hear,
yeah, yeah, exactly.
which I think is like how everyone should explain mixing
Yeah,
to
that's actually
people.
probably a good way of explaining mixing is you can't hear the stuff you want to.
Because like people go immediately to, all right, check out this graph with these frequencies, and it's like I want to hear this thing that now I added this other instrument and now I can't hear it.
Yeah. So hey, I'm just letting you know, in maybe about like 10 minutes or so, I think I'm gonna have to go.
Oh, you're gonna have to run?
Yeah, sorry about that.
Oh, okay. Well, we can. Let's see. We're gonna listen to week 20, or excuse me, week 36, 2022. DAR. Here we go. right, that was Dar. Tell me about that one.
Yeah, so I can just jump in the name. There's a few songs like this too. Like you chose another one, Digo Digo and Dar. So a lot of them are kind of inspired of like Romance languages. I mean, I speak Italian and Spanish. I basically use Italian at home with my family. Um, is what happens when you marry an Italian, I guess.
That's
Yeah,
cool,
I
man.
used to live there, and
How nice.
so a lot of these things are usually some play on some of the words that are basically the same, or there's some similarity between them. So like
Yeah.
dare means like to give. So it's something about giving, and I think probably we had to do with 10K, like giving that sample out and saying, hey, these are some
Nice,
sample kits.
nice.
And so I probably thought like, oh, that's a cool thing to try, and I found one of the samples through one of the kits that were on there, these 90s sample kits.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably why I chose the word dar. Now that I'm thinking about it, I
Yeah.
didn't like how he gave that to me. I'm giving something back. And then yeah, it's really basic. Like the weird kind of percussive sound is the main driving rhythm in the background there, and an 808 and a little noise generator to round it out. And yeah, it's real simple, not too creepy this time, sorry, but more
No,
relaxing.
no.
Not
It's
creepy, just relaxing.
but the drums set a great vibe to it, and uh to quote Kedbreak on this, the beat is sick.
Yeah, it's like the bass and the drums. I think it was like we're talking about the drums and the bass work really well together, like
Yeah,
the octave playing.
yeah.
Um, um, yeah, so I think that just worked well, and then the basic kind of pad and lead in the back was all there. It just kind of worked all well together, I
The
think.
formula.
Yeah, yeah, I think it worked well.
Well, you've got to run, and we're gonna have to cut the interview a little short. I'm gonna, in post processing, do some radio mode and play out the rest of the songs that I wanted everyone else to hear. And I want to thank you again for being able to join.
Yeah, my apologies. Just didn't work out to stick
Oh,
around
no,
to the
no
end.
worries at all. I'm glad I got you for at least this long.
Yeah, and it was really nice to meet you and talk about this stuff. And I think it's fun to just talk about music and um, also just talk about all those fun little things that we find in our journey in
Yeah.
making music, and we don't get to talk about it too much. So it's also nice to be able to talk about those things.
Yeah,
Thank
there's
you.
there's only so much conversation that can be had on the comment section, or even Discord for that matter. One day I want to try to find a way to like round up everyone in the same place on the globe, and
Yeah, that would
uh,
be
and
cool.
that would be really cool.
That would be really cool.
But thanks again. I'm really glad to have been exposed to your music, and I want to check out more of your catalog, and I want to see you in 2026.
Yeah, I'm gonna try my best, and maybe we'll catch each other on the
Yeah.
message boards.
Yeah, hit me on Discord, and yeah, looking forward to hearing what you make in 2026. I'm also preaching healthy beats, which means that you don't have to do a perfect streak to prove it to yourself. If you need to take a break, it's better to have some of your music throughout the year than none of it. So
Mental break, weekly
that's right.
beats.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah. The
makes
streak
sense.
is not everything. I've proven myself on the streak. You have too. So
Yeah, I think that there's that feeling you got to do it, but yeah, it's true. You have to accept and be, forgiving
that's
of
right.
yourself, like we're
Yeah.
talking about.
Forgiving. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I'll catch you later. And thanks everyone for continuing to listen. And we're gonna take it to radio mode from here on out. So don't close your podcast app yet. All right. Have a good one.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.
See ya.
And like magic, we're in post-production land. And up next is 2022, week 43, Digo Dico. That was Digo Deco. I really love that B section that comes in like a minute in. So good. All right, up next, 2020, week 42, meditation. Great descending bass lines and sweet, sweet dissonant tones. Playing the last song now. This is going to be week 15, 2020. Kick Me While I'm Down. I opened the episode up with this one. Thanks again, everyone, for taking a listen, and I'll catch you next week.